Alright, so here's my Elite, and right here I have a crack, so you guys can see this or not. See that crack? So when I bought this bike, several years ago, what was it? Was it 3 years ago or 5 years ago, whatever it was? There was a little bit of crack right here. It was only maybe like a 1/4 inch long. Over the years it's grown, so I figured I better repair it now before it splits down the middle of the fender there. So before you do that, wash the front side and back side. Then look at the crack and see where it goes, and you want to make sure that you find the end of the crack, or maybe just past the end of the crack, and drill a little hole, so that way if the hole's out there, and let's say you do whatever to try to fix the crack, potentially it could still keep on going and going, so the hole will stop the crack right there in its tracks. So I washed this already, both front and back. On the back side here, so you guys can see this. On the back side, I used some, I washed this as well, but I used some sandpaper. I think it's 180 or 220, one of those 180 or 220 grit sandpaper. And I roughened up the back end, because that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to actually epoxy the back end, the back side, so that way it stays together. This is what I'm going to be using right here. I'm going to be using this stuff called this is from JB Weld, right? JB Weld. It's called plastic weld. So basically, it's meant for plastic, and it's it's an epoxy, right? So epoxies are two piece, or two two different ingredients by themselves. They don't do anything, but when you mix them together, they become something different. I could make this so that way you guys could see it a little better. Let's see. Nope, you're not seeing the underside. Let me see if I could go from the bottom here. Underside. Nope, still not enough. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good right there. Hopefully it stays though. That's the problem. I'm not sure if this angle is going to stay or not. Alright, so you guys can see that, and it's already been, cleaned up, and I used simple green. Then after that, I used the 180 grit, I believe it is. So the epoxy, obviously two piece epoxy, or two part epoxy. There's an inside and an outside to it. So you can't see that side because they keep this little thing here, so that way it protects the mainly the inside, I think. Oops. So I think this right here is bad, so let me take that off. That's not as bad. So you can see the inside and the outside. So we could flake some of this dried off cruddy stuff off here. So I already used this stuff. Can't remember what I used it on. I think I used it on one of those like plastic, like a plastic, like a dishwasher or a washer dryer handle, where the handle, over after a few years we keep on pulling on the handle, it cracks, it breaks. So I used it on that, and it's held up, as far as I know. All right, so before you do this, make sure everything's clean, including your hands. So looking at this, I can see fingerprints from my last use, and I wasn't completely clean, but I just washed my hands before this, and this is all washed in here. So I don't think I need that much. So I'm gonna probably take maybe about a 1/4 inch off of this. I should get a knife and cut this thing, but I don't have a knife on me right now. Yeah, no knife. So I'm just gonna basically use my fingernails. Measure in about a 1/4 inch or so. Just kind of slowly, pinch it off. Alright, so hopefully that's enough right there. Okay, let's put this back. So now you just need to mix this stuff. So basically, this is what I do. I just kind of twisting and what do they call it? It's like kneading bread or kneeling bread, whatever, however, what that word is, kneeling. I think it's kneeling or kneading. It's just the same way. So you do it with the epoxy, so the way it mixes, so you still see the two colors. You want to do until the two colors are not, not visible anymore. It's just one color. So this is why you want to have clean hands, because if your hands are dirty, or the dirtiness will get into the epoxy and it won't kind of contaminates it. It won't work as well as it should. And it won't be as strong, and it won't stick as well either. So it's starting to get pretty uniform. Well, not exactly. It looks like it's getting pretty uniform. So, it's a little lighter blue now than it was before, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna call that good there. So let me do it like that. I think it's like Play-Doh almost. Sure. Oops. Camera fell over. Camera fell over. Okay. Sorry about that. Camera fell over. I didn't thought I touched it, but maybe I did touch it. So anyways, I'm gonna make this thing about a little bit longer than the crack itself, like that. Just like a little worm, and I can see the hole from this side. I'm gonna just go about a 1/4 inch or so past the hole, lay it across where the crack is, right there, and just kind of flatten it out from there. I want to find out as best I can, because I'm not sure if the tire will hit this or not. Because if you look above here, you see like sort of like a little oval shape. I'm not sure if that's the spot where the tire had a rub on this fender, because I'm using oversized tires compared to the stock tires. Stock tires were 90/19. Excuse me, 90/90, 90/90, 90/90/12. And this tire I'm using is 190/12, so it's a little bit wider and also a little bit taller. So it does rub a few places here and there. So if we doesn't rub on the epoxy. I'm making it pretty thin, feels pretty thin at least to me. It's probably maybe a 1/16 of an inch, I think, at most, as far as thickness goes. You can actually see kind of see the crack line. Hopefully this up here will push into the, no, it did it. I was hoping that the hole I drilled, the epoxy would push into it, but I didn't really set it up for that, so probably didn't work. I think I need to push it more to the left, or more away, I should say, more away to my left, or the left of the bike. Seems like I have more on the right side. Basically what this does is just going to reinforce this spot, so if it doesn't crack in the future, or it doesn't get worse, it just, whatever, it stays the way it is. So that's it. So I can still see sort of the crack line right here. That's as I'm doing this, the two ends, the two end kind of shift a little bit, and then you can see that little crack line form down right here at the tip of my fingernail there. I can see it. So I'm gonna call that good. Yeah, I'm gonna call that good. And hopefully it doesn't, doesn't split apart or gets any worse. It's just, you know, that's it. I'm hoping this stuff is not too brittle. If it's brittle, it will can't use that anymore. So let's do that. If it's too brittle, it'll crack again, but hopefully not. Alright, so that's the plastic weld by JB Weld. Maybe I should have looked at instructions and see how thick of a, you know, of a piece I need. But like I said, I can't make it really thick because it could hit the tire. As the suspension, you know, the suspension compresses, the tire moves closer, and I think that's why this oval. I'm not sure you guys can see it, but up here there's like an oval light part of the plastic. I believe that was caused by the tire. As the suspension, you know, goes through its travel, it probably just about bottoms out the tire rub right there, right at that spot. That's it. So front end, obviously you still see the crack here, and you still see a little hole. Right, there's the hole right there, and the cracks right here. And you see the crack line going up to the hole. So, you know, the plastic underneath is, you know, it's like a lighter color. Looks whitish to me. So what I'm gonna do is, I can see the crack kind of like splitting apart a little bit. It doesn't want to stay together. I think that's why the epoxy is kind of like, you can see the crack line in the epoxy. But anyways, what I'm gonna do about this right here is I'm just gonna get like a Sharpie, and because of the light color, I'm gonna get a Sharpie and just color this in. So that way you really can't tell unless you're like looking for it. If you just glance at it, you probably won't notice unless this fender is like completely clean and shiny. Then you notice it, but otherwise, if it's dirty, you won't notice it. Yeah, that's it. So thanks for watching.